Hello children, good morning to you all. I am before you to start or continue the lesson The Great Indians. I have taught only about two people. They were Charaka Shushruta and Tansen. Okay, because of some personal reasons, I could not teach you today's any lessons. Sorry for that. So today I will continue. Before continuing, once again, I tell you that India is such a country which gave lot of things to the world, and it contributed to each and every field like science, technology, art, culture, music, literature, everything. Understand? And medical science. So Charaka and Sushruta were the ancient physicians, I can tell you. Okay. Charaka was the physician, a doctor who was even known as the father of Ayurveda. Ayurveda means, Ayu means age, life. Veda means knowledge. The knowledge which teaches you how to increase your lifespan, how to be healthy is called Ayurveda. He discovered nearly 5,000 medicines, medicinal plants, their values, and he wrote a book called Charaka Sushruta, Charaka Samhita, I am sorry, in which he mentioned the uses of all these, what to say, medicinal plants. And Sushruta was a surgeon, and in those days he was also known as the father of surgery. Understand? He introduced plastic surgery in those ancient days, some 2000 years ago, to the world, and cataract operation he did. Understand? And he wrote a book called Sushruta Samhita, in which he also mentioned the uses of so many medicinal plants and the way of using the way of doing operations. Charaka lived 2000 years ago, and he gave stress upon hygiene for healthy life. Understand? He introduced the way in which the diseases were treated by using plants. Then Tansen. Tansen was the great musician in the court of Akbar the Great, the Mughal Emperor Akbar the Great. Akbar had 9 ministers. They were well versed in their own fields. They were specialized experts of their own fields. They were called Navaratnas. One among them was Tansen. He was a great musician in the court of Akbar the Great. And he invented so many ragas. They were so powerful. And he belonged to Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh. And when he was a young boy, he was impressed by Swami Haridas, who was his musical teacher also. Understand? He was a saint singer, Swami Haridas. He taught him the music, and Tansen developed his own new style of music in which he fusioned Indian classical and Persian style of music. Understand? And he invented many ragas. His raga means musical notes. They were so powerful. When he sang Deepak Raga, lights in the king's court lit up automatically. When he sang Megha Malhar Raga, it started raining, it seems. So powerful it was. So, next is Rabindranath Tagore, the great Indian. He was a freedom fighter, great philosopher, understand, and he was the first Indian to receive Nobel Prize for Literature. His work was a collection of poems called Gitanjali. For Gitanjali, he got the Nobel Prize. Understand? And apart from that, also, he did so many other things. Like he opened the school called Shantiniketan in the uh, uh, arms of nature, I can say. Means open school. There were no rooms, no classrooms. Under the trees in natural atmosphere, classes were conducted. Then even he started a university also called Vishwa Bharati University, which was so many students from abroad also joined this university. Let me read about him. Rabindranath Tagore was a poet, writer, musician and philosopher. He was born in 1861 in Calcutta, now Kolkata. Rabindranath Tagore was a writer, poet. Poet means one who writes poems. Writer who writes dramas, stories, etc. He is a musician. He composed so many songs. He was a great philosopher. He was born in 1861 in Calcutta. Music was an integral part of Tagore's family. Tagore too liked poetry and music when he was just 15. He surprised everyone by writing his first poem, Banpur. It was later published in a magazine. At a very young age, Tagore started writing the poems. When he was 15 years old, he wrote a poem called Banpur, which was afterwards published, printed in the magazine also. Rabindranath had a keen interest in the folk music of Bengal. Folk music means regional music. It was used in many of his songs. Our national anthem, Jana Gana Mana, was written by Rabindranath Tagore only. He was very much interested in folk music and he was the one who wrote our national anthem, Jana Gana Mana. Who wrote Jana Gana Mana? It is Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore wrote nearly 50 books and more than 3,000 poems. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913 for his book Gitanjali. He was also knighted by the English government in 1915. However, he returned this honor to protest against Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Tagore was a great educationist. He founded the school Shantiniketan in West Bengal, which is now famous as Vishwa Bharati. So Tagore was awarded Nobel Prize for his collection of poems called Gitanjali. Even the government of England also awarded him knight, a kind of highest position. But he rejected it because in those days Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place. To oppose, protest it, he returned that award. He wrote nearly 50 books, 3,000, more than 3,000 poems. Understand? And he was the great educationist of our country. Kalidasa. Kalidasa was also the great writer. Historians are not very sure about the exact dates when Kalidasa lived. Some say he lived 2000 years ago and others say he lived 1500 years ago. What we are sure of, however, is that Kalidasa was a great poet and dramatist. We know this because we have records of his writings. Kalidasa may have been one of the 9 gems in the court of King Chandragupta II, who was also known as Vikramaditya. This king had 9 very clever people at his court. These people were skilled in various subjects and the king was their patron. Understand? Kalidasa was a great poet. Abhinava Shakuntalam he wrote in Sanskrit. Then historians, means those who study history, they were not sure about his time of life when he lived. Some say he lived 2000 years ago, and some say he lived 1500s ago. But however, only the fact is he was a great poet and dramatist. He was in the court of King Vikramaditya II, who was also known Chandragupta II. Understand? Who is known as Vikramaditya. Understand? Like Akbar the Great, even Chandragupta also had 9 ministers in his court who were experts in their own fields, great knowledgeable people. Among them, one was Kalidasa. He was the patron, means who supported the different arts, is called patron. Understand? Not pattern, patron. Who supports and encourages different arts is called patron. Kalidasa wrote many plays and poems. He wrote in Sanskrit. Some of his poems are called Mahakavyas. Mahakavya means great poem. A Mahakavya had to contain descriptions of war, nature, and politics. The best known of his poems were Raghuvansha, Kumarasambhava, and Meghaduta. The best known of Kalidas' plays is Abhijnana Shakuntalam. In this play and Kalidasa's other works, there are grand descriptions of nature. Through his writings, we know that he must have been a genius. So Kalidasa was a Sanskrit writer. He wrote many works. Among them, the most important ones were Raghuvansha, Kumarasambhava, Meghaduta, and Abhijnana Shakuntalam was his greatest work. Understand? His poems were often called Mahakavyas, means great poems. And only thing we know about him, by seeing all this work, we can say he was a great poet. Next, Kabir. Kabir Das was the Hindi poet who wrote Dohas. Dohas means couplets. Couplets means the poem which is of 2 lines. A great social reformer and poet, Kabir is perhaps the best known and most respected name in India. Hindus as well as Muslims and Sikhs think very highly of this great man. They all call him a religious reformer. Kabir Das was a great poet of Hindi. All people like Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, everybody respect him as a great social reformer. Many people call Kabir the father of Hindi literature because of the great amount of good poetry that he wrote. He was the champion of Hindu-Muslim unity. Many people even call him the father of Hindi literature because he wrote so many poems in Hindi. And he was the great champion of Hindu-Muslim unity. Means he brought Hindus and Muslims together. Kabir composed hundreds of dohas or couplets. Doha means 2-line poems, but they were having deep meaning. He also composed many songs. He tried to show through his poems that Ram and Rahim are the same. There is only one God, and you can call him by whatever name you like. Kabir made fun of people who pretended to be religious but who had no real love in their hearts. So, through his poems, Kabir tried to prove that God is one. There is no Ram or there is no Rahim. In whatever name you call, he will be with you if you call him wholeheartedly with great love and respect for the God. Understand? And there are so many people in this world, children, even now also, they pretend, they act like they are very religious, they are very great people, but in reality, they won't be like that. Sir C.V. Raman, the great scientist of our country, he also got the Nobel Prize for Physics. Ashoka, first let us see, Ashoka the Great, Mauryan Emperor, Chandragupta Maurya's grandson we can call. Ashoka occupies an important place in the history of India. He is regarded as one of the greatest rulers of India. He was a great conqueror, but he gave up fighting once for all. Ashoka raised Buddhism from a local sect to world of religion. Ashoka followed the policy of religious tolerance. He taught the world that one should not only love his own religion but also respect the other religions. Not only this, Ashoka gave the best administration to his subjects. He treated all his subjects like his own children, and he was always ready to serve them, not for men alone but for animals too. Hospitals were opened, wells were dug, and shady trees were grown in large numbers. In fact, there was all around development in his region. Ashoka was a great ruler. He was a great emperor. First, he was a great conqueror. He used to wage wars and occupy the kingdoms of other kings. But once what happened, he went on the conquer to Kalinga. Kalinga was a place where he fought the war and thousands of people died, and he won the war, of course. While he was coming back, he just turned back and saw, he could see the bloodshed. Bloodshed means blood is flowing like river. So many heap of dead bodies uh, were spread everywhere. Small children were crying for their parents, father. Mothers were crying for their sons, and ladies were crying for their husbands. Sisters were crying for their brother's life, etc. Seeing this, he moved a lot. He changed his mind. What is kept in this war and all? It leads to misery, sorrow only. So he gave up war and he adopted Buddhism. And from then onwards, he started to work for the spread of Buddhism. And he sent his daughter Sangamitra and son Mahendra to Bhutan and Sri Lanka to spread Buddhism. And after that, he started working for the welfare of the people. He treated all the people as his own children. And not only the human beings, even for the animals also, he opened hospitals. He opened chowdhuries where travelers can take rest. He planted trees on both the sides of the roads for the shade. Like this, he did so many welfare work. Then C.V. Raman, Chandrasekhara Venkat Raman, was one of India's great scientists in recent times. He was born in a small village near Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu on 7th November 1888. Soon after he was born, his family moved to Visakhapatnam. When he was 12, he completed his matriculation and went to Madras. Chandrasekhara Venkata Raman was the great scientist of our country. He was born in Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu on 7th November 1888. Then when he was small, his family moved to Visakhapatnam. He completed his matriculation means SSC exam when he was just 12 years old. Venkatraman, after doing his 10th class, he went to Madras. Venkatraman had keen interest in science. He joined the Presidency College in Madras and went on to complete his master's degree. His favorite subjects were mathematics and physics. He studied in Presidency College at Madras. Madras means at present Chennai. He completed his degree, master's degree in maths and physics. Like all young men of that time, Sir Venkatraman had to get a job. He joined the Indian Finance Department. He worked for 10 years in this department. So, after studies, what will we generally do? We search the job and join the duties. Same way, he also worked for the Finance Department of India for 10 years. Afterwards, he discovered many things about light. In 1928, Raman's experiments led to the discovery of new information about what happens to rays of light when they pass through water. Today, these rays or bands are known as Raman's lines. He was given the Nobel Prize for his work in physics in 1930. So Raman, being a great scientist, he discovered one thing: what happens to the light if it moves over the waves of water. This is called Raman's line, for which he got Nobel Prize in 1930. Sir C.V. Raman was a great scientist and great leader. He showed by his hard work that others too could succeed if they tried. He died in 1970. So he worked hard and became a great person, and he proved to the world that if we are determined, if we decide our goal, we can work hard and we can succeed, we can reach our goal. So this is the end of the lesson, and I already gave you new terms which we are going to read tomorrow. So here we stop. Thank you, children.